Ya papa. Don't know what to do. Apparently I did a whole Ranma podcast without properly covering the first episode. That sounds kind of weird, right? What do you guys think? Listeners of this podcast, Don't Know What to Do, which is your favorite podcast, of course, or at least your favorite Ranma podcast of the several that you listen to. I am, as always, your host, Hedgie or Elena, depending on your level of familiarity with me. And today I wanted to bring in an expert at recapping dumb shows. And unfortunately, the Accented Cinema guy didn't get back to me in time, but I did get someone else who is just as good. Say hello, guest.
Hi, my name is Grant. You might also know me as Ironicus, and I unfortunately happen to be an expert at recapping very intelligent shows. But I'll do my best. Hi, I was invited here because, selfishly, I've got a few very exciting things to share to people, and I want to find all sorts of venues to talk about them. But also, I love catching up on, like, classics of things. I want to go to the roots. Like, I just read Jane Eyre, you know, like War and Peace is on my shelf beckoning for me. And, Ranma is on that list. Well, maybe a slightly different list, but yes, certainly a cornerstone of its field.
Yeah. So you may not be an expert at dumb things, but you definitely have experience in deep diving. You know, a lot of people, they pick a broad topic, and it's like, well, this episode we'll talk about Ranma 1/2, and then next month we'll talk about something else. And I'm like, no, it's just Ranma. Do you have any idea how much Ranma media I went through? I made this podcast specifically because I got halfway through the series and I was like, I need to do something with this knowledge. I can't just leave it on the table. It's been a while since I said the numbers. It was 407 manga chapters, 161 televised episodes, 16 or so specials and OVAs, 3 movies, 14 video games, and they recently announced the 3rd season of the remake. Plus a ton of singles and albums, and I listened to all of them. I listened to the Lullaby calendar album.
And that's only the first half. We still haven't got to Ranma's second half yet.
And that's why this podcast exists. Because it's really easy to just look at the basics, but someone has to deep dive. And it shouldn't be you. I feel like you should all find your own thing to deep dive. Maybe multiple things. Maybe you'll run out of episodes or something, and then you jump onto the next 90s show that most people have never heard of, but you're like, oh man, this is the best.
This is the foundation of society, right? We have concentrated our resources and intensified production so that frees up a lot of people to specialize in things. A hunter-gatherer society could never produce a Ranma 1/2 podcaster.
There have been people who hunted and gathered all of Ranma. It's just that, well, it was the early 90s, and you have to spend like $50 for like a VHS tape with 2 episodes on it. So that took a while.
Really, what I'm saying is that we are delivering on the dream of the Fertile Crescent peoples so many millennia ago, and here we are now.
So yes, I always love getting a new guest so that I can ask them what their familiarity with Ranma is, but you kind of have already hinted that you are not here for Ranma reasons. You are not a Ranmologist. You had a convenient excuse that allowed me to drag you here.
I have been Ranma curious for a while. For one thing, I always confuse it and Urusei Yatsura. Not like their premises, but like which one came first and which one had like which directors that went on to this, that, and the other thing in you know the 10 years after.
Yes, that does make sense. Like, the only reason Ranma exists is because Urusei Yatsura was so successful for the studio.
Okay, so it's the second one. All right.
Yes, Ranma came second.
Okay.
Urusei Yatsura was, I forget, I think it was 1981 the Ranma manga started in 87.
Okay.
And then the anime came like 89, so like it was mostly early 90s. It is kind of wild, because there's also that, and in between them, Rumiko Takahashi also wrote Maison Ikoku, which was also pretty popular. Not as much, because it was shorter, it was less cartoony, but it definitely had its fans. It's pretty rare for an author in the span of a decade to already have 3 hits on her hands.
I mean, that's just math. Having a hit that size takes a lot of time. You run out a decade, yeah.
But yeah, it's understandable to be curious about that. So was I. I've told the story before, but I picked Ranma at random. I just felt like, hey, there's tons of stuff I never got around to. Let me pick one of them.
You can't misspell Ranma without random. That's just the way it goes. Yeah. And
so again, I was just going through it out of curiosity, but there was just so much more than I thought. And just, I always say this podcast is about Ranma, but it's not about Ranma. It's about the way we consume media. And once again, just the encouraging people to do their own deep dives.
Sure.
I guess I could go into the thing I joked about of why am I covering the first episode like more than 30 episodes into this podcast?
Sure. Yeah.
And a big part of that is just, this is the most covered part of the series.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Most people, if they acknowledge Ranma, it's because they're an anime podcast. And this week we're covering Ranma. We're talking about the basics. I've described it as the "these people read the same Wikipedia articles as me" feeling. And it's
sure.
If your goal is to cover, like, anime as a whole, then yeah, that's cool. But, like, there's so many finer details you'll never know about unless you dive deep into a subject. If you pick something broad and jump to something new, you're gonna learn a lot of basics about a ton of stuff. You're gonna be very good at Jeopardy by the end of it, so long as they only pick anime topics. But if you want to go deeper, to me the most fun part is just learning about the things no one's ever heard of. To just learn about, I had to look up Ranma alarm clocks just to, find an appropriate thumbnail for one of these episodes. And that was fun. All these unnecessary things. I did earlier say the phrase music calendar, the calendar that came with a free album. That was one of my favorite episodes of this podcast thus far. It was one of my favorite things to research. So, compared to that, just, going into, this is how the series starts. Here's the thing that everyone who has started this series has already experienced.
And so then you were looking for a ringer for the most well-trodden of ground.
Yeah, I'm just I don't need to do that. And I specifically set it aside for this exact reason. For when I eventually rope someone in who has zero knowledge, and they're starting from square one, and I'm like, well, then let's just start from the beginning, because I haven't covered that yet. I've hinted at stuff here and there, because, of course, it's the first several episodes. This is how the series began. Of course, a lot of the stuff that happens there is going to be relevant in several discussions. But I've never, covered these parts in detail, because they're so covered. If you want to know more, and if you're somehow this far into this podcast, and have zero interest in reading the first chapter of the series, then hey, maybe it's time I could give you the easy way of learning the more intricate details.
It's on Tubi, come on.
It's on a lot of stuff now.
Yeah. So do you want to jump right into it then?
Well, first things first, I wanted to establish what we'll be covering. Because
yes.
I specifically asked you to go over the first 6 episodes. And do you have any general thoughts out of those 6?
This is a foundation that could where they leave things, there are roads that could like run an infinite distance. Like this becomes like a fractal, like a Mandelbrot set of love triangles in only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean that is fertile ground. Look how many decades Archie Comics has lasted with just the one. There. But yeah, it's cute, it's fun, it's really thoughtful. I was surprised at like, I mean, it's dense with gags, but like there are really like considered feelings happening all the same. Even if it's often serving the purpose of resetting expectations so the next gag lands harder, right?
Yes.
But I mean, of all the ways you could mess with the pacing, that's what they went with, and I think that's, yeah, I can see how this is the thing that became, yeah, a cornerstone of its field, of its time, yeah.
Yeah, and this was one of the first, like, anime period to get this level of push in the West. Like, prior to this, if you were watching anime, it was mostly, like, standalone movies and OVAs. The concept of we're translating all 160 episodes of this anime 2 episodes at a time, like, that was kind of insane. Not just for translation, but even in Japan, like, 1989, that, like, home video was still at the tail end of its, like, final step of evolution into, like, modern media viewing. It was, it's somewhat novel still around that era. Things were still being written with the assumption that if you don't tune in this week, you might never see this episode.
Right. Which leads to less serialization, less long running things. Because if you miss the pivotal episode, you're turning in next week and like, huh? Not to say that there was none. I mean, I'm a mech guy. I was just watching Panzerworld Galleon while eating my lunch before joining this call. Like serialization is not exactly new to the 90s, but yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the norm. Or at least not the default. But yeah, so 2 very important things of note. So, you only have these 6 episodes, and I'm assuming you have very little knowledge of anything past that.
Correct. I'll say I have predictions, but I have no.
Well, actually, go ahead.
That's a different thing from knowledge.
You know what? Give me your best prediction. Let's see how close you get.
I mean, I think Sword Boy and Middle Sister are clearly like married in 10 years or less. Because their little extortion date is my favorite thing in these 6 episodes.
Oh, absolutely.
Hands down.
And that is going to be relevant to something I'll say in a bit. But the things where these episodes come up are previous conversations I've had on the topics of, like, adaptation, especially with the Netflix remake and such, and, like, the nature of how the series changed over time. So, some important context. Ranma, to go with what we just said prior, became more episodic as the series went on. And the reason I specifically wanted you to get to the end of episode 6 is because I feel like these 6 episodes make up the first quote-unquote arc, specifically because these 6 episodes can't really be classified into an arc. I've seen, like, wikis split these 6 episodes into, like, the first episode is, like, the intro arc, then we get the Kuno arc, and then the Dr. Tofu arc. And I'm like, I can see how you can sort of split those up, but, like, those stories aren't, like, cleanly separated enough for me to be comfortable with that distinction.
Yeah, people were real excited when they opened a Dr. Tofu franchise in my neighborhood, but it's just not that good.
Yeah! And, like, after these 6 episodes, or rather after this part of the manga, which was 9 chapters. 9 chapters! That's the page to minute ratio we're working with here. which will maybe hint at what I'm about to say next. But the next couple of arcs, they're proper arcs. Like episode 7 is the beginning of the Ryoga arc, and then after that we get the martial arts rhythmic gymnastics arc, and then the martial arts figure skating arc, then the shampoo arc, then the cologne arc. You know, we start getting a more like villain of the week format or weird, goofy martial arts of the week format, where there will be ongoing threads. There will be characters who stick around or come and go, but there will also be a main threat that is the primary focus of this arc. And sometimes they'll stick around and join the collective cast of weirdos. Sometimes it'll be dealt with and we're done with that. Now back to what we were doing previously, but that's how the series became episodic. And then after the Cologne arc is where it becomes pure episodic, where from this point onwards, there is zero overlap between the arcs. Nothing will be established until the previous thing that was established is resolved. And so, like, these 3 stages of episodicness, I feel, are interesting, and and the first 9 chapters doesn't seem like a lot, but, like, that's the chunk of the story where there's, like, the least episodicness. There's, like, next to no distinction. The part where they transition from fighting Kuno and then dealing with the Dr. Tofu stuff, that was 1 chapter in the manga. They don't even... There is no clean distinction. There is pure overlap. And so, like, I cannot accept this span of episodes as anything but a single arc these are the arc-less stories with no separation at all. This is just the chaotic mess that is these characters' lives, and that's the foundation we're working with. So, on top of that, there's one other bit of information that I think you should know before we start recapping this.
Okay. Do I have to sign a waiver? What?
Yes. You may have suspected this when I said that these 6 episodes cover 9 chapters. The first season of the Ranma anime took a lot of liberties.
Yeah?
A lot of the stuff you said at the start, a lot of the things you praised about these episodes, that's just the anime. That's not how it was in the manga.
Okay. I mean, if that, chapter to episode ratio, like, what's like for a direct adaptation for something that's just very page to screen, it's something more like 8 chapters to 1 episode, right?
Well, for comparison, the Netflix remake covers those same 9 chapters in 3 episodes. Literally half the time. And they didn't skip anything either.
Well, they probably skipped the part where it's raining and we just watch a street lamp blink out in the alley, which is art. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
David Lynch taught me that's what art is.
If we do the math based on these 2 adaptations, half of these episodes is just unnecessary shots, added scenes, a little extra embellishments that didn't need to be there, but they added something. And I think that's great. Unfortunately, this did not captivate audiences, and, there might be parts in these recaps where you can maybe see that there was some behind-the-scenes drama with regards to, budget issues and getting things released on time. I don't know how you feel about the intro, but, they had to rush that so hard, it literally wasn't ready by the time the first episode released.
Yeah, the opening, sequence communicates 2 things. Number 1, it's panda time, baby. It's panda clock, strap in for panda. Number 2, these kids just love to bounce. They're very bouncy children.
Yeah, it's very nice, but yes. The first season, unfortunately, ended with the series having to be retooled. They moved some staff around, the show was moved to a new time slot, and they were cracking down harder on making sure you don't go over budget, make sure we're releasing stuff on time. And as such, the first season has a wildly different tone to the rest of the anime, which is a lot more faithful to the manga. And a lot of it is those little details of those extra establishing shots, those very beautiful establishing shots, and all these extra scenes that they just invented for the anime version that pretty much all of them were like fantastic additions. Thankfully, I didn't have you go past these 6 episodes, because by the end of the season, we start to see some examples of, maybe you could have left this new subplot out, but at least at the beginning, things are fleshed out in a good way, in a way where I don't mind if this is taking twice as long as it needs to. But yes, those are the reasons that I made you stop at episode 6.
Sure. So yeah, episode 1 then, The Strange Stranger from China. Not one of them normal strangers.
Yeah. For one thing, this one isn't even from China. He just visited there once.
It's so weird that whenever Ranma gets introduced, like, I'm looking ahead to when he goes to this new school for the first time. Like, they actually, the teacher actually has everyone say ni hao to him, and like, no, he was in China for like a week at most. What are you doing? What are you talking about? He just likes the fashion, I guess. I don't know.
Literally, episode 7, we get a flashback establishing that he was still in Japan when he was in middle school. Like, he couldn't have been there for that long. But the early parts, they love to treat Ranma as if he's actually Chinese for some reason.
So yeah, this episode starts with one of those still moments, just some quiet stillness in the rain that is then interrupted by a karate girl and a panda running higgledy-piggledy.
Yeah.
The karate girl begins to fight the panda, and you are not allowed to do that because of the Endangered Species Act. You are going to get in trouble. Do not do this.
Yeah. So, man, this already feels weird covering these parts where I'm like, everybody knows this, right? Everybody, like, it's so weird when I listen to other podcasts cover these and just going by the numbers of like, a girl's fighting a panda in the streets? How wacky.
It's pretty wacky. They play very wacky music. Yeah.
I have to put myself in the mindset of when I watch this for the first time without the knowledge of the 161 episodes, 407 chapters, 3 movies, 14 video games, all that stuff.
You've lost the reaction to how strange it is that a panda believes in arranged marriages. And perhaps that goes some distance to explain their difficulties with breeding in captivity. Truly,
the Ranma is a story about generational trauma and the conflicts between modernity and tradition, as we will see.
But yeah, that is the situation we find ourselves in, a running fight through the streets, and this girl insisting she does not want to marry someone she's never met, and the panda just sort of makes groany panda noises.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there is another karate girl, and she hates boys. This, I think, is the first big surprise I had watching this. I expected Ranma and Akane to be sort of an opposites attract thing, and not that the friction is that they're so very similar.
Yes, they're very similar.
So yeah, the situation is this karate girl, Akane, is part she has 2 sisters, and they have to be set up with an advantageous marriage so that they don't lose the family estate. Pride and Prejudice is happening in the anime right here.
Yeah. So first of all, this scene has the first minor deviation from the manga, and it's one of my favorites.
Okay, yeah.
In the anime version, I didn't notice this my first time. Nabiki changes into her finest kimono as soon as she learns that there's an arranged marriage with someone that could be handsome. And then immediately after they meet Rama for the first time, the very next scene, she's changed back to her regular clothes. these people 100% know what they are doing. They understand these characters so well.
I gotta say, the sisters as a set really made an impression. These are great. This is a good ensemble.
Yes.
The eldest doesn't have as much to do. Like toward the end of these 6 episodes, she starts taking the forefront more. But yeah.
And unfortunately, you won't see much past that. But
so as they're getting this briefing from their dojo dad, in comes our hot-blooded karate girl and her panda companion. And so how popular was the manga at this point? Am I, the imagined 1990-ish television viewer, expected to know what's up and be like, aha, this is how they're adapting this? Or am I imagined to be in the dark along with Akane and her sisters?
So, it's again, manga was 87, anime was 89. And Rumiko Takahashi had 2 popular manga prior to that, one of which got an insanely popular anime adaptation. So, there were definitely some people who probably knew, but you can definitely see, as evident by the insane amount of times that they demonstrate the falling into the water gimmick, that they knew there were gonna be people going in blind, and they had to make it crystal clear how things work. They had to repeat a lot of stuff before this became common knowledge.
So I guess I will believe going forward until someone like produces a quote or something that this episode was written with both of those people in mind, right?
Probably. The
people who are existing fans, like, oh, the Ranma premiere is appointment viewing because I'm such a fan of the book. And other people like, oh, let's see what's on at 7:00 today. Oh, what's this? This is fun.
Probably. That could be why that could be one of the reasons they switched the order, because in the manga we start with the Tendo family and immediately set up the mystery of who is this Ranma person, and then we cut to the girl and the panda. Whereas this version This version maybe like switches things up to sort of change the order in which your expectations are painted.
So, we do learn that yes, this redheaded karate girl is the Ranma they've been talking about. She immediately apologizes upon introducing herself, so I find her so relatable.
Yes.
And so now I begin keeping a running tally of how often Ranma is groped. We get up to 2 pretty quick in this same scene.
Yes.
You know what? That count does not... At the point when I started taking this count, it's 2 in the first scene. I think over the course of these 6 episodes, it gets up to like 4 total, and that's way less than I expected at this point.
Yes. But I will always point out that out of all those examples, Nabiki's is by far the most excited.
Well, yeah, she's a freak.
She's very happy to confirm. There is a joke I've mentioned from like a much later chapter where she just randomly gropes Ranma, and it's like, Ranma, did your boobs get bigger? And I love the implication that she can tell just by grabbing them. She's often overlooked in where she might be on the list of suitors, I feel, but her enthusiasm is felt.
Now, luckily for this arranged marriage thing, the one who's clearly the main sister of the trio hates boys. So it's a good thing the boy she's being introduced to is actually a girl.
Yes.
This all works out perfectly.
There's no, like, she's 2 halves girl.
So after a while, we find some stern men weeping together.
Yes.
Which seems to be their greatest hobby, the fathers of these families.
Yes. We don't see nearly enough of their childhood together, but, like, knowing that, like, these 2 trained together as teenagers, you can absolutely feel... A lot of Ranma feels like it is about, like, traditionalism and, like, all these, like, very Japanese old traditions versus the younger generation, and the idea of these two fathers who want to join families in order to pass on those teachings is very important to the plot. But like, I just can't ignore how much Son and Genma want to be family together. They are so into the idea of making their kids marry. They're really into it.
Look, they're both single. Come on. I mean, maybe there's going to be some twist reveal. A karate mom descends from the mountains, thought dead. But
maybe. Where
I'm at right now, they seem single to me.
Yes, no mothers in sight. At least not biological mothers.
So Ranma decides to go avail herself of the hospitality and go bathe, because the world loves a sweaty girl who loves karate and hates endangered species.
Yes.
And as she is bathing, there is some sort of strange switcheroo, because when Akane walks in to take her bath, she walks in on a karate boy bathing in the nude. And there is this incredible, absolutely perfect comic timing as she just backs up through the door like Homer Simpson in the bush, but with nudity. And then capped off by this huge scream.
I love how calmly she puts her clothes back on before stepping outside.
Yes. And you know what? I was not surprised. I wasn't sure how much nudity I was expecting, but there was like a long range in my head, and it falls within it. But I gotta say, it's more teenage nudity than pretty much anything else I watch.
There is a
you lot. Know what? Than anything else I watch. Yeah, I don't think I gotta qualify that.
There is definitely a lot. So, I did find it interesting. I compared it to the manga. There were some shots in here where I was like, Akane looks a lot scrawnier than I remembered her. She doesn't look as plump as certain, like, literally like a couple episodes ago, I was talking about how one of the, like, movies presented her as this, like, Venus the Milo figure as she gets out of the bath. And so that shot is fresh in my memory compared to here, where she looks a lot skinnier. She looks very different, and I just can't help but feel that, well, for one thing, it becomes a running gag. Ranma repeatedly, like, criticizes her appearance. He says she's not cute, she's not sexy, he says she has no curves. So, I'm curious if that running joke perhaps influenced how much meat she had on her bones in future appearances.
Yeah. Like, these girls, they got boobs and they got butts, and folks, you're gonna see them.
After you make the joke enough times, it starts to influence your mental image of what Akane must look like, I think.
So yeah, the eye catch, ends, and, we return to Ranma boy-moding, and apologizing as he reintroduces himself yet again. At least I don't do that anymore. I've put in a lot of work.
So yes, he reintroduces himself. This is Ranma. He is the karate boy and the karate girl. So, couple details that I noticed on revisit.
Sure.
For one thing, you can see the gears ticking in Ranma's head as he genuinely contemplates just keeping this secret forever. You could see when he's told, like, oh, the bath is ready, and he's like, oh no, that's good, I'm good. You don't need that. Like, he has to seriously consider his options here.
Yeah, because we're about to get the scene where we explain what occurred to make this strange thing be, the case. And it seems like it happened the day before yesterday. This all seems very new to him.
Yes, it does. Which is another thing that I find so funny of, why did Ranma wait till they got back to Japan to start complaining? You'd think he would have, put up more of a fight as they were leaving China. Like, they had to swim to China. That's not something, like, coming back was presumably not something they just did in a couple of hours.
Well, you swim to China, you take a plane back. That's the only way to travel.
We've only got enough money for one plane ride, Ranma. This is how it has to be. But another fun detail that the anime changed, in the anime version, the dads are already pouring beers, they're drinking, they're getting ready at the table as like Kasumi prepares for dinner. And this is just so funny because in the manga version they're just kind of there and then they explain things. But this anime version implies that the dads decided to stop and get drunk over and bond over old memories before even attempting to explain to their children what is happening.
Yeah, because the dads know everything. Like, Ranma's dad has explained to the sisters' collective dad what's up off camera. He, being a human and not a panda, I appreciate his eyeglasses situation that's very panda-like. That's fun. I like that sort of thing in a shapeshifter character design. Have that little element. It's good.
It's a very good design. And you probably got very brief glimpses of future animal designs during some of those intros and eye catches that I think are also very good. Rumiko Takahashi draws very funny animals.
So, Ranma's father, Mr. Saotome, gets upset with him and throws him 18 feet into the backyard where there is like a little pond or spring, which seems to be normal in karate homes. That's just a normal thing to happen. Their ongoing fight that's been going for at least 72 hours resumes. Yes. As one of the sisters leans over and says, "Father, you have some unusual friends."
Yes. You got a taste of it, but like Kasumi is the most unflappable character. That's why she's my favorite, despite not getting a lot of screen time. Because every moment she is on screen, she is just rolling with every single punch thrown her way. Clearly, she's the best martial artist of all.
Yeah, there's a lot of punches. She lives in a dojo. There's a lot of punching. So yes, the quarrel, the scuffle calms down and we get the explanation. And I love the idea that this, concept that has been stretched to years and years, decades of iterations and stories and gags and plots is really just a filler episode of early Dragon Ball. Like, this would happen before they ever met Tien Shinhan and just be over within 22 minutes.
I believe they were probably actually meeting Tien Shinhan around the time this was releasing.
So what had happened was, in their quest to be the best karatiers they can be, the Saotome boys, father and son, swam to China and went to this legendary training ground of 1,000 springs. Or of 100, 100 magic springs. Wouldn't want to have 1,000. Let's not get out of hand here. Come
ridiculous.
On, we gotta
be. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Let's be realistic here. And so yeah, they jump up on the tops of bamboo. They begin sparring, which is the only way that they can relate to each other. The elaborate rituals men have to be able to touch one another, even within their own families. And Ranma gets one over on good old Pop, and he falls into the spring that turns you into a panda bear. Because a panda bear died in it, and it was very sad and tragic.
Yes.
And then Ranma gets one pulled over on him, and he falls into the spring that turns you into a lady because a lady died in it, and it's very tragic. And there's a tour guide speaking like broken Japanese because he's a local Chinese guy. It's not his first language, and each time they fall into one of these springs, he pulls out a sign labeling what this specific spring is. How big are his pockets to have over 100 signs?
He had, you know what? Just like us, he understands the importance of a deep dive. He has one expertise, and he knows how to do it well. Like, pockets are not a limitation for him.
Maybe it's one sign. It's like a dry erase situation, and he's really, really fast with the marker.
Well, you know what? Maybe he's the one that taught Genma how to communicate with signs. Because clearly Genma didn't need them before turning into a panda.
So the story is complete. Everyone knows the secret that if either of these Sao Tome fellas are splashed with water, they transform into the thing what they turned into from that spring, and being splashed with hot water instead will revert them back to their assigned species at birth in one case, and that's the situation here in the wettest city in all of Japan.
There is literally a joke at one point. Ranma has to walk down a street in boy form, and Genma just straight up says, like, Ranma, you are a water magnet. Do not tempt fate. You cannot walk this street without getting wet. You know what's gonna happen.
So an argument breaks out between Ranma and Akane. I forget what it's about, but I assume it's about everyone calling them engaged already, when neither of them wishes for this to be the case.
As soon as everyone hears the story, everyone's reaction is, oh, okay, so Ranma and Akane are engaged. That makes sense. Right. We just put these two together. That's how it should be. All right, glad that's settled.
And this is the moment where it's not just how, like, they have similar interests. They are really their personality clash is because they're so very alike. It's a really fun argument, and immediately their dads start laughing that it's like they're already married because they hate each other so much. Yeah. Hey, take my wife, please. I hate my awful wife. This is comedy. Oh yeah. That part's less fun, is what I'm trying to say. I like the beginning of the scene, not so much the end.
No, listen, that's just how children are. This is, you know, connoisseurs would recognize this as a tsundere, which is already very valuable. But when you have the double tsundere, that's when you know they're fated to be. That's when you created a perpetual motion device.
The double tsundere sounds like a Dan Hibiki move. This is followed by one of Akane's sisters confiding in Ranma. She's basically a sweet girl at heart, just hopelessly violent.
Yes.
And that's one of the best lines. I love it.
More on that in later episodes, but yes.
Yeah. So we have a bit of a denouement here with everyone just like evening has fallen. We all got to have a moment to sit in our feelings, and Akane's reaction to Ranma in both of their forms, both of their bodies, says that to her eyes, Ranma is fundamentally in his soul, regardless of presentation or anatomy, a boy. Like, the rules for seeing one another's body in bathing, for instance, are not changed, but no matter what sort of water they've come in contact with most recently. Like, when you're a boy all the way, from your first cigarette to your last dying day. But middle sister, my favorite character, is like, I don't know if that's true. And so in the end of the episode, it's like, we're going to keep this discussion open. That's kind of what the show's about. Yeah,
I suppose you could say that. But boy, we've had several discussions about Akane's relationship with Ranma and gender, and also Ranma's gender, and the various ups and downs and complications thereof.
So then we get it's the end of the episode, and the ED, the end credits sequence, is just a series of like high high contrast shadowy paintings of our cast just sliding around in layers as the credits scroll across them. It's fine. It's nice even.
Okay, I was gonna ask, how are your eyes? We've discussed eye pain on this podcast before with regards to that ending.
I mean, the little next episode skip is a very clear and easy to see. So, episode 2, school is no place for horsing around.
Hold on.
Okay.
So just to set things up, that first episode is by far the most faithful of these 6 episodes. And it covered 2 chapters in their entirety. These next 2 episodes cover 3 chapters. Chapter 2 covers like 1 2/3 of a chapter, and then the 3rd episode covers the remaining third of that chapter and the one afterwards. So we're literally getting less and less manga per minute ratio as these go along.
That makes sense. Like, there's so much. I mean, just the Chinese Curse Springs flashback is something that has to be directly taken. It's the foundational exposition, and that would be a lot of page count, I feel like. Yes.
So with my knowledge, I can pinpoint a couple of things. So first things first, what are your thoughts on Genma as a dad?
I think he is. I don't know how involved he was with Ranma as like a young child, because I think he sees Ranma like he loves him as a son, but their relationship feels more like a mentor-mentee thing, like an apprentice thing, than I don't think he sees the infant when he looks at Ranma the way that like my dad does when he looks at me, right?
Yes. So I bring this up because the second episode near the start, like, we get to see the first taste of this recurring feeling I had of like looking at these first episodes and trying to only look at what is presented on screen. And the thing that stuck out to me is how frequently Genma attempts to like not just train Ranma as a martial artist, but as a man, to constantly give him life advice, to be the one to say, hey, that's your fiance, you need to respect her. And just how much that stands out compared to later iterations of him, where, again, the series becomes more episodic. He becomes a lot more of a sitcom dad, but like it's just so fascinating seeing that early on, and also immediately contrasting it with Son, who seems like a lot more hands-off. We see him sparring with Akane once, and that was exclusive to the anime. The manga did not have that scene. The manga never shows him getting involved with Akane's training at all.
Well, no wonder he's going to lose the dojo unless he marries these kids off. He's a negligent teacher.
Yeah, he just kind of lets his kids do their own thing. Maybe it's out of laziness, maybe it's out of trust, but he's definitely not the type of parent Genma is. And that's good. That's good for the two parents to balance each other out in this marriage that they're planning for their children.
Sure. It can be a double date. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So yes, school is no place for horsing around.
School is no place, and once again, we need to have so many reminders of how the transformation works. My favorite was in the first episode. They dump them in the pond, and then Son is like, let's give them a chance to change back. And then the next scene, they're back to normal, but then they immediately get dumped in the pond a third time.
My favorite thing about the transformation is that you never see it happen. That it's always like, the splash happens when we're looking at, the bucket or whatever, or they're submerged, or like it's never a morph. There's no flash of light. There's no effect. It always happens in the cut, disguised one of a dozen different ways they come up with. There are always exceptions. Different directors across the series handle that differently, but most of them do that approach. And, we get a transformation again early in the second episode, just to remind the audience once again, but also as a convenient excuse to need to stop somewhere on the way to school and get some hot water. I love that eldest daughter immediately pulls out a big platter of bamboo for breakfast.
Oh yes,
she's such a gracious host. Yes.
Yeah, she is such a good host. She is prepared for everything. She makes sure she has that ready, but also prepared for anything is Dr. Tofu, who is from... wait a minute, the wiki told me we're in the Kuno arc. Why is he here? Hold on. Here we get Dr. Tofu.
The brilliant puppeteer.
Yeah. Man, this is one of those things where, like, when I look at art of what One Piece used to look like in the late 90s, and I'm like, oh boy, how things have changed.
So you're saying that current Dr. Tofu looks like he's made of silly putty and has a gigantic rack?
Yes, but also...
Okay.
Dr. Tofu is introduced by establishing to the audience that he is also a martial artist.
Yeah.
We are told
Ranma's out here just scanning everyone's power levels. Yeah.
Absolutely. Ranma can tell that guy is a martial artist. He snuck up on me. He clearly has martial artist skill. Don't you think it would suck if Dr. Tofu never gets in a fight with anyone ever in the entire series that is about martial arts after establishing that he knows martial arts? Wouldn't that just be weird?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's about love triangles because before we even know that, we know Akane is hot for Doctor.
It's about both. That is unironically one of the things I love about the series. It doesn't feel like a martial arts story that happens to have romance in it, and it doesn't feel like a martial arts themed romance. It takes both of those genres and respects them both. It's doing them both equally while also being a comedy. It's all three of those things without giving any of them priority.
Yeah, at least 10% of this episode's runtime is one extended ass beating.
Yes. Yes, that is the next sequence. But yes, we establish that Akane maybe has the hots for this guy. Don't ask his age. We are never told that, and I knowing what I know about anime, I feel like I don't want to know, but it's better that we don't.
I never ask the age until it's reciprocated, right? Like every teenage girl has a crush on an adult. Like that's so normal. It's when it's reciprocated, you gotta like, of course. No, thank you.
Yes, of course. That is normal. Akane, who is 3 years younger than her eldest sister, has an established age.
Hey, which therefore means her eldest sister is 19.
Who knows how long he's been running that clinic? That's not important.
So yeah, Dr. Tofu is a weird little freak who puppets around a lab skeleton named Betty.
Yes.
And if you're gonna do a love triangle based thing and have a Betty, I'm looking for Veronica. You know I am.
You know, when it's stuff that old, you do have to wonder, like, that could be the actual intentional reason. But yes, they stop by Dr. Tofu's to get some hot water so that they can then get to school. And here's a good example of how they sometimes decide to pad things out. So the word filler, especially in the 90s and 2000s, was very hated by a lot of people. This was not in the manga, so it's not canon. It shouldn't be here. And we can see the result of that in a lot of modern adaptations.
Like I did a JoJo's show for a while called Bizarre Podcast Dogs Must Die.
Yeah.
And I would reference the various fan wikis, and they got so granular with differences between the adaptation and the source, and like, bro, some of these I think are interesting, but a lot of these I cannot imagine caring.
Yes. But like, I remember before the remake came out, there were a lot of articles of like, well, unlike the original anime, this one's going to be faithful. They're not going to put filler in it all over the place. And I'm like, okay, but here's the thing. This next sequence, the manga has a page where Akane, after they get to school, there's a bunch of boys waiting for her, and we get like 3 big panels of her kicking their asses, and then we move on. And then the people behind the anime decided, no. No. What do you mean it's just 3 panels?
This page is going to be a great big battle royale with everyone from all their various clubs and sports and things shouting, I don't know, sport-related confessions of love and before they get their ass handed to them over and over again. So yeah, we see that the prevailing idea here is that relationships are a result of conquest. She must be defeated. This is the taming of the shrew this week. It was
Yes.
Pride and Prejudice last week. Let's just follow the classics as we go.
Yes. I don't know how much of it you picked up with just these 6 episodes, but Ranma absolutely takes place in martial arts world. Everything is martial arts. In case you didn't tell when I listed the names of arcs earlier and I got to martial arts figure skating, that's just the world they live in.
That's why, like, soccer guy and tennis guy didn't have a shot. Like, sumo guy was one of the last to be defeated because that is a martial art.
Rhythmic gymnastics exists in this universe, except when you're a rhythmic gymnast, what you do is you get in a ring and you fight another rhythmic gymnastics person with your rhythmic gymnastic moves. Though that soccer guy, he's playing martial arts soccer. They're playing martial arts tennis. That's just how things work in this world.
Well, the way you score in martial arts soccer is you almost get hit by the other guy, then do the most convincing sell of being horribly injured for the ref.
But yes, this is a very lovingly animated sequence of Akane just kicking these people's asses.
It's great.
As we're told that she does this every morning.
I love that this ends with Ranma announcing that he will come to her aid with the quote Sao Tome School of Anything Goes Martial Arts. Yeah, brah, we can tell. Anyway, go tell that to the World Wildlife Fund. Your anything goes. See if they have some notes for you.
They could try and stop him, but you know, they'll have to prove themselves in battle first.
Well, it's martial arts, ecological, like environmentalism. So it's
yes,
different.
You don't want those guys getting on your case. Those guys are pretty tough, actually.
I think I just described Tifa from Final Fantasy VII, but
yes, of course.
It's all right.
Honestly, a lot of Ranma characters would also fit in the Street Fighter universe. That is also a universe where you could just get in a fight with someone waiting in line for a hot dog, and that's just your normal day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yes, all of this is to establish our first proper rival, I suppose. Tatewaki Kuno, age 17, Kuno. Also known as the Blue Thunder.
He said so it must be true.
So later on, they introduce his sister, and she introduces herself as the Black Rose. And I find it so funny that people actually call her the Black Rose. Whereas Tatewaki Kuno, it is a joke that nobody calls him the Blue Thunder. Nobody even knows what he's talking about when he introduces himself that way. So clearly, his sister is the marketing person in the family. He does not understand how to make branding work.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But he is here to fight this guy who is living with Akane and also fight Akane himself to prove he is a feminist.
He cannot date her unless he proves that he is as strong as her. This is unironically kind of sweet, if not for the fact that it's insane and awful. Is everyone respects Akane as a martial artist so much that they refuse to acknowledge herself as a person.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I just want everyone to know that for the rest of these episodes, every time I saw Kuno, I imagined his outfit just said, "This is what a feminist looks like," printed on the front.
Of course, he knows what he is about. He is respectful and kind. He's like a samurai. He's got a little rose. He's very theatric because he respects the martial arts and therefore he respects Akane. I demand anyone to prove that they respect women more than Tatewaki Kuno, age 17.
Which is why I will beat their ass. So Sue, would you believe it? A fight ensues.
Yes.
A tree is destroyed, which is coming out of someone's tuition payments. We gotta do some restitution here for the groundskeeper, the martial arts groundskeeper.
We get our fight. This is another, similar to, like, with Genma. It was interesting seeing Kuno from the lens of me pretending that I'm watching this for the first time. And would you believe it? This shonen martial arts series might have a bit of power creep to it. Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah.
Tatsuaki Kuno, age 17, he's really strong in chapter 3. But by chapter 300, maybe not so impressive. It is so fascinating how much they emphasize how strong Kuno is. Like, Akane seems genuinely concerned for Ranma's safety. She is trying to warn him, despite the fact that she couldn't hit him earlier. She knows that she couldn't hit him, but she's still worried about Kuno. And there's even, like, this light implication that Kuno might be holding back when fighting against Akane, but not when he's fighting Ranma. And that's part of the concern, is be careful. And we get multiple instances where Ranma or Kuno appear to win, but then it's revealed that they both got seriously injured, and they're both trying to write it off as if it's not a big deal. But we, the audience, can see, oh, this guy's good. This guy's actually strong.
On this program, how deeply have you talked about how Ranma's like signature move in all of his battling is a 15-foot vertical leap?
Ranma is a very flighty boy.
That's the center of his martial arts technique, is just jumping so good, you guys.
We actually have discussed this because, well, you haven't met him, but you can probably tell by the fact that one of the boys in the intro is way bigger in the collage of characters than the others. Ranma does get a rival. He does get his own Vegeta. And that character he is a juggernaut. He is very rigid. He is very firm, grounded. He will punch hard. He will, I've described it early on as like, Ranma will like jump over a fence in a very flighty way, whereas Ryoga will just punch through the fence. And so there's we eventually get a very clear dichotomy between Ranma and his biggest rival of these are their two fight styles of anything goes martial arts. Ranma is a very aerial fighter. He does love his flips. Which could be why one of the first arcs is martial arts rhythmic gymnastics. Turns out Ranma was very good at that. But yes, we get our first fight. But blasted, that dang rain is here once again to ruin things.
A sudden gender swap, cuts the fight short. But before anyone can react, it's panda time, everybody. Pay attention to the panda. Nothing weird happened to your opponent. It is panda time. Panda.
So Ranma is thankfully pulled away by Genma. So, his secret is not exposed. It's around this time that I feel like, was it here or later that you began to fall in love with Nabiki? Because after this we get some scenes with her.
Yeah, this is, when, like, she is just, like, messing with him and, like, writing his name wrong on the board on purpose into some, like, insulting word. And, like, okay, this is when I knew that these two would be married in the future of the show. But it's later when she's just making trouble for fun that like, oh no, this is my character. Yes.
Okay, well, sounds like later. In that case, we can save that for now. But I will mention, I've talked before. The early chapters of the manga were less afraid to cut away from Ranma's perspective, but less so as the series became more episodic. And these early scenes with Nabiki and Kuno are the biggest reason why I missed that.
Yeah, they're great. They're especially good together.
They have such good chemistry that is just gone once the series starts adhering itself to just Ranma and Akane and anyone who happens to be in their immediate vicinity. You still get some shenanigans, but it's not the same as when these characters are off on their own. and are forced to only interact with each other rather than doing wacky things around Ranma. And, it really does feel like I only described like 2 scenes, and yet we're already at the end of the episode. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, so Kuno does get formally introduced to Ranma when he comes back to school, and I mean, one of the things is we need to bring back matchmakers, because this never happened in Anatevka. This whole confusing situation, they would not stand for that. They'd sing a little song and everyone would feel better until, the other stuff that happens there. Don't sweat it. It's fine. But Kuno doesn't believe in arranged marriages because he's a feminist.
Yes! He respects Akane's interiority. She should be allowed to choose who the strongest boy at school is.
Yes, as long as she makes the right choice, her choice should be respected, obviously. And so they talk, like, the word fiancé is said out loud, and like the shutters open wide, and the entire class is like, what? Engage? Like, don't you people have any studying to do? My God.
I like how Ranma is like, hey, this area isn't appropriate. Let's go somewhere else to fight. And then he jumps out a window. He couldn't wait to just get to ground floor, and this is a problem because the episode ends on a cliffhanger as Ranma realizes he jumped out from a window over the school pool.
From like 12 stories up, it seems. This is a very tall school.
That part's fine. That part's fine. Everyone's a martial artist here. Anyone can take that fall.
Yeah, he's the world's greatest jumper. We've discussed this. So episode 3, A Sudden Storm of Love. Hey, wait a minute. Starts with recapping that cliffhanger. And every time it happens, I'm amazed at how much this school loves buckets. You could major in buckets with a minor in kettles at this school.
Yes, again, traditionalism. This school values tradition, and there is no time-honored tradition more important than making kids stand in the hallways holding buckets of water. That is important.
It builds character.
It is kind of crazy how, like, the first, 4 minutes of this episode is just the ending of the previous episode, but they didn't just cut and paste it. They reanimated it from scratch.
Yeah.
They just did it again. And as a fan of the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya and the Endless Eight, I am a big fan of this. But also, this episode has multiple instances of characters having flashbacks to things that happened 2 minutes ago. So, I think episode 3 is where you could maybe start to see why they perhaps had some budget issues going on behind the scenes.
So yeah, Kuno and Ranma crash into the pool. Ranma becomes girl again. And hey, it's time for grope scene number 3. It's been a long time. But she gets away and leaves him lying next to the pool on his back, his head lolling back and his hair just floating in the surface of the pool. And frankly, that looks really relaxing, actually. That seems nice. That seems a nice way to chill.
Yeah. So, you'll see later on, Tatsuaki Kuno, he does not catch on very quickly, but I love his assumption that Ranma somehow, mid-air, got some random girl and dumped her in the pool, and then ran away just to trick Tatsuaki Kuno.
This is a reasonable deduction. I find this a completely logical belief, assuming cursed springs don't exist.
No, it is a reasonable deduction. I'm just saying the mental image of what he thinks happened is very funny.
It's funny, but what else could it be? Everyone treats him like a moron. Well, no, you just have the privileged information that magic is real. It's not his fault. He's working on other assumptions.
Yes, that is fair. I'm just gonna ignore future episodes that establish that his family has all sorts of cursed and haunted magic trinkets in their basement. They collect antiques. That part's not important, but yes, magic being real, that's ridiculous. Obviously it has to be this. But yes. So, like I said, episodes 2 and 3 are 3 chapters of the manga. There's not a lot of new material. They just pad things out. But again, not like, padding isn't bad. You need padding sometimes. Your knees will thank you for it.
What do you think your bed is made out of, huh, tough guy? Huh?
There is again, this episode will have characters flashback. Like, Rama will leave the pool, and then the very next scene, he will have a flashback to getting groped in the pool, even though we just saw that. You can see the budget issues, but you can also see where the budget went as we get some incredible animation. The scene of Ranma taking off his pants to dry them while in the tree is so detailed and so smooth, like butter. And then the scene after that, like a good chunk of this episode is Akane's fight with Kuno, and it's a sick-ass fight. They did such a good job at it. And it's just so interesting that between that and reanimating a thing that they could have just copy-pasted, I can absolutely see how furious some guy at Kitty Films Animation Studios was when he looked at what they were doing with their time and budget and went, wait, hold on a minute.
So, Kuno, like, on his honor, decides to fight that boy and goes after her. But yeah, Akane's there, and she's going to fight that boy to buy time for Ranma to become that boy again.
And I do like this season takes moments like these and lets them breathe and treats them seriously, all for the purpose of building up to the next punchline. But the journey there is still very poignant and good. And like, I love this moment where you could feel Tachiyaki Kuno, age 17, realize that his feminism has finally paid off. Because for the first time ever, Akane Tendo is challenging him. She has finally proven that she is not a misandrist, and she respects him in return. And now they can have a real fight. They have implied that he was maybe holding back previously, and I believe that, because his reaction to being challenged really comes across as like, oh, now we can finally have a real fight. And you can see how that made his day.
And this is also the bit where Ranma has her feet locked around a tree branch while she is just extended out, like planking, holding this kettle in an incredible demonstration of core strength.
Yes! Very powerful toes. They don't call it anything goes for nothing. You need to be prepared to use any muscle.
But anyway, they fight, and Ranma jumps really good and gets away.
Yes. And again, it doesn't feel like a lot happened in this episode.
Well, a huge thing is about to happen on the other side of the eye catch that I want to talk about, because it's one of the Papa-Son chats. The one that I think is the most important.
Yes.
Because Ranma, up to this point, is clearly very interested in his conception of masculinity, which is about confidence. It's about cockiness. It's about masculinity to him is having his boy's physique, right? Like, later we'll talk about ways he embraces being a girl when she's a girl, but like, he wants his V chest, you know, he's sick of having boobs all the time whenever it rains. But Ranma's dad is really interested in a different conception of masculinity, about manhood, about responsibility. He's trying so hard. He's weeping at his inability to communicate that it is proper for a man to say thank you.
Yes, turns out Genma, also a feminist.
But I'm not joking when I say it about him.
Yes. Again, ignoring how much of a cartoon character Genma is presented in later stories, it really was interesting going to the beginning of the series and being reminded of how much, like, Genma is unironically trying to give good advice and focusing on the things that actually matter, and just being like, hey, Akane did help out. And this is going back to the thing in the first episode, where we're told that, yes, she is very violent, but deep down she is a good person. She is a very kind and sweet girl.
But Rama doesn't want to hear all this, and he's got one weird trick for getting out of a dad lecture. Sweep the leg, throw him in the spring. He's a panda now. Fuck you. You can't talk.
Yes. The anime does include this subplot where Genma gets splashed, and then it turns out the bathtub isn't working. So he has to go all the way to the public bath, and then as soon as he comes back, he gets splashed again, and decides to just rock it, I'm just a panda now. And I think that's good, because as the series goes on, what form Genma is in is heavily dependent on what would be funniest for this scene, which heavily implies that there is no consistency with him. He is whatever he was last splashed with, and he is in no hurry to change back to whatever form. But I appreciate the anime kind of adding this subplot of him coming to that conclusion of, like, realizing what a pain it is having to constantly change back and forth, and just being like, whatever, I guess I'm a panda today. I will eventually find hot water, and then I will be a human, and that's all I care about now. And he just spends the whole rest of the day as a panda. And I appreciate that.
Meanwhile, upstairs, the girls are talking. It's girl chat time. And hey, would you believe that this show that's really about changing bodies is kind of horny sometimes? This show loves to draw legs and make you look at shapely teenage legs.
I did notice there's a lot of leg work in these early episodes that I'm not used to seeing in later Ranma stuff.
I mean, everyone's like shirts popping open might get the headlines, but like leg people drew this show. There's no denying.
I've always headcanon that like Nabiki and Kasumi inherited the same genes as Akane, and they could be good at martial arts if they wanted to. But we can very clearly see Nabiki is not averse to working out those legs. She could use them for different purposes if she wanted to. But of course, she won't, because she's such good friends with a feminist that encourages her in a positive way.
She could put them to all kinds of uses. Swimwear model, middle distance runner. The world is her oyster.
But yes, I forgot to finish my other thought, but like, Akane being presented as this sweet girl, I find that interesting because I believe it. We see enough examples of it. It's just that those examples are like hundreds of pages apart, and it often feels like we're just not expected to keep that in mind. And I really appreciate early on that we do see that, because like, okay, listen, I don't mean to spoil things for you, but I think Rama and Akane like each other. I think that's it.
I watched episode 6. I know what's up.
It's maybe debatable when those feelings began to develop for each of them. Ranma is up on the table. Akane, I feel, episode 6 is the first time she starts to see Rama differently. And everything before that is, that's just her being a good person. It's not that she likes Ranma. It's not that she cares about him specifically. She sees someone in need and is just naturally kind-hearted and respectful to people the way she wants them to treat her. And we don't see enough of that. So I like going back to these older examples and having it be an actual case of Genma pointing it out. Like, no, just thank her. Just say thank you. She did a good job today.
Thank you.
Just say it.
Thank you. You're becoming a man. You have to say thank you. Oh, the strong wills of youth. He will not say thank you. Not yet. But it's the next day at school, and that means, hey, did you like that giant battle royale? We're gonna do it again.
Yes.
This must be those daily calisthenics they start school in Japan with. I've always heard about.
But yes, next day at school.
Well, Nabiki starts stirring the pot just for fun, and talking with Kuno, because they are in the next class up. Yeah,
I
together.
couldn't remember if that was all in the next episode or if it started here.
This is where the seeds are planted, and she starts sharing incomplete information to lead him down trails of thought that leads to her delivering a note to Ranma, quote, to your girl half. I love that every character has a slightly different take on what Ranma's whole deal is.
Yes, that is fun, including Ranma. Ranma's a flexible character. But, yes. Now I remember what the last scene of this is. How could I forget?
It is a challenge for the strange pigtailed girl that keeps interrupting Kuno and Ranma's fated duel to meet him at a very precise time, because it's the precise moment of the sunset, wouldn't you know?
I loved how specific it was.
And Ranma cannot deny a challenge, so she arrives, and Kuno also arrives and delivers not a beating, but a poem of love. Because he's doing a Flash Thompson, is what he's doing, but with smooching instead.
He has seen the incredible martial arts prowess of the pigtailed girl, and how could he sing praises of Akane Tendo and not apply that to other girls that prove themselves just as capable? It is the moral duty of every feminist to pursue every girl who you're attracted to. That is what he must do.
That's equality. You have to be attracted to all girls.
And thus we end the episode with Ranma's response to perhaps his first time having anyone profess any romantic affection towards him.
It's not something that happens to a lot of guys his age. You have to become a guy who is also a girl his age to really up your odds.
And yes, and then that brings us to episode 4.
Ranma and ellipsis Ranma? If it's not one thing, it's another. These titles are very wordy, I have to say.
Oh yeah, that's how anime is, but yes.
So this one begins with Ranma having gay panic dreams.
Yes. Very elaborate, very, very well made, gay panic dreams. But before we do start, once again, I need to let you know, this episode covered 1.5 chapters.
Nice.
And a good half of this episode is expanding on one scene. Like you thought like Akane's 1-page fight was expanded upon. Wait till you see how much of this episode was non-canon filler.
Are the gay panic dreams in the manga, or is that original?
Yes, that part is canon, of course.
Okay. Whew. Good. I was worried.
So yes, Ranma has a bit of a panic in response to the events from the evening before, and rushing a bit ahead, we do eventually get big battle royale number 3. Yeah,
you gotta start your day off by farming XP from trash mobs. You gotta do your dailies. There are some cute notes in between, like Papa Saotome is humming the theme song. He knows he's in a TV show. He knows he's a cartoon. It's fine.
Yes.
We get our 4th grope, and this time it's from Ranma's hopeful father-in-law to be, which is strange.
It's his second one, but they're both accidental, so...
But yeah, as... I think there's a moment in this big fight where, Ranma and Akane do like a double rider kick at... so you can put this one on the big list of Evangelion, inspirations. Clearly that came from here.
Absolutely. We see that, as well as the joke, where, you know, Akane tells Ranma to butt out, but Ranma tells her he did not do that for her. Ranma has his own reasons for wanting to do a rider kick.
So now it is time for, is it date time? Is it date time now?
Well, allow me to recap how the manga did things.
Oh, am I going to be heartbroken?
So, Rob and Akane, they do their rider kick. We then cut to Nabiki in class. Kuno drops a doll on her desk, asking to give it to the pigtailed girl. And then the two have a wacky conversation, which ends with Nabiki pulling out photos and selling them to Kuno. And having watched this episode, you might be confused, because it sounds like I just described like 15 minutes of this episode.
So yeah, instead it's just step one. They establish that there's information to be had for a price, and then we move on. There's just some fun chat where I'm immediately in my notes like, these two have to end up together. If these two aren't together by the end of the show, what was it all for? But then we just move on to someone dumping water on Ranma while they sleep. They do not wake up. They are so used to being splashed with water, it's nothing to them anymore.
Yes. I will say, I do think it's really funny how in the manga version, Nabiki just already has the photos.
Yes, yeah. But here she has to take the boudoir photography, including the bedwetter anxiety, because, Ranma has to be splashed to be a girl, because boy Ranma pictures aren't worth anything for sale.
Yes, like, there are multiple steps here, but like, in the manga version, she finds out, well, technically, she could have deduced it, but we were not told explicitly that she knew about the contents of the letter. For all she knew, that was a letter of challenge. She probably knows Kuno well enough that she could have suspected it, but she is told in that conversation that Kuno is in love with the pigtail girl, and like 2 seconds later, she already has photos to sell him. And I can't tell if that's funnier than this version, which is also really funny when we painstakingly see every single step of the process from her starting to get the idea and then sowing the seeds and then the bedwetting to get the photos and then the scene where an arrow lands next to them with a very formal note inviting her to meet up so they could have their ice cream date to exchange photos. And this entire elaborate process that I think is equally funny to just her having the pictures before even knowing she would need them.
So they go on a shopping date. She's extorting Kuno for a shopping date for this information and for these pictures. The eye catch happens. They're still on their date and she has brought her dolls. She's getting that spaghetti. Hell yeah. The Ranma pictures, don't worry, I got Akane pictures. It's time for ice cream. How long has she been collecting these? God dang!
It's just, the Ranma ones in particular, because she could have had Akane ones left over, but like, has she been following Ranma for like multiple days and we're just pretending that like no time has passed? How long has it been? But like, yes, seeing like more than half of this episode dedicated to this subplot that was like 1 page in the manga is once again, like, they knew what they were doing. They understood the assignment very well.
Kuno has these 2 spreads of saucy Polaroids and vows to resurrect the ancient samurai art of polyamory. Anyway, the way this is going, he's going to be buying Nabiki a car by the end of the week. This owns. I love it.
Yes. And one other detail. So, I don't know if I should give you any information about Nabiki, or if I should just let you discover that on your own.
I've got the most important information about Nabiki right here. She voiced Dylan Dow in The Vision of Escaflowne, so...
Yes. Pretty much everyone from the Ranma cast went on to become absolute legends. You look at Ranma's voice actress and you're like, I can't believe it. She went on to play the Minky Momo in the Minky Momo 90s remake? That's crazy.
I think you mean Pen Pen in the previously mentioned Neon Genesis Evangelion.
The most important characters. But yes, so these scenes with Nabiki and Kuno, they weren't in the original. It was, or rather, they were all compressed into one interaction as opposed to this whole elaborate thing. So, first thing I want to point out, Nabiki was watching the fight But during the fight, we see a teacher yelling at everyone because the bell has rung, and he's telling him to get to class. Meaning Nabiki is not in class. She stayed to watch the fight, which is unlike in the previous one. She has her friends with them. It looked like she was just passing through. But here, the fact that she's still waiting implies that this is a regular thing. She makes sure to stick around.
You can't do a scheme without reconnaissance.
The next scene, she is nursing Kuno back to health in the nurse's office with a damp cloth.
Aww.
Which is very adorable, but also we get some of the best lines between the two of them as we establish their incredible chemistry. And of course, during their little spaghetti date, which does not result in any Italian men playing accordions, so it does not end how you would want it to, but yes. All of this whole photo stuff was an excuse for Nabiki to sow some more seeds of chaos and inform Tachawaki Kuno to deliver his present to Ranma Saotome. If you want to meet the pig-tailed girl, that's how you do it. Take it to Ranma.
And please, let me remind everyone that David Blaine is real, but magic springs are not. I'm with Sword Boy. You cannot call him stupid for only assuming things that are possible are possible.
He believes that, like, Vegas magicians, that's real magic. But, like, Ranma
It's the closest thing we got.
Ranma swapping with another person in Kuno's arms, that's ridiculous. That's not magic. That's not real. Anyways, important thing about this, and once again going back to perhaps where the budget for this series went, this whole sequence took place at school. And the anime version decided to have Kuno ask Ranma to meet up at some random apartment complex. I don't know why they're here, but it is a change of scenery.
Well, that's where he has his supplies for the puppet show of seduction.
And it does lead to some interesting changes. But, like, to listeners, I just want to emphasize how, like, there is a lot of work in animation that is just someone making sure these shots are consistent. A new location is not as simple as just telling your animators, well, this next scene takes place at an apartment, so just draw an apartment. A new setting requires so much more work than just this scene takes place in the same location as the last 12 scenes. Just use whatever references we have for that. So much more work has been put into this next sequence than there needed to be, just to make it more visually interesting. This is the exact opposite of Goku's favorite abandoned quarry to fight in. And it really is impressive going to these early episodes and seeing how, like, wow, they wasted so much money. Good for them. I am so happy for this. This is how it should be. But yes, in addition to that, one other interesting change to this is Akane, because when this whole sequence takes place at school, it makes sense for Akane to be there. It makes sense that she sees them fighting and having this skirmish, and then she yells at them. But in this version, they met up in secret at a new location she knows nothing about. So they have to insert a scene of her overhearing Ranma and Nabiki, and then later showing up at the apartment complex watching from behind a statue. Because once again, Akane is just actually very sweet and kind, and she is actually concerned for Ranma. She just wants to make sure she's okay. Because, spoilers, by the end of this episode, Tachawaki Kuno has been more or less dealt with, but also, he got some good hits in.
So yeah, there's posturing, there's introductions, and wouldn't you know it, they have a big fight in the fighting show. They have a big fight. And my favorite thing about this is, like, the all of the illicit Polaroids are fluttering around in the air, and as Ranma does the Ranma thing of jumping and dodging, is also just like snatching them one by one and like, hey, what's this? Wait a minute, what's going on here?
I like to think that he still doesn't recognize that one of the photos was on the futon with a wet stain underneath. I like to think he still thinks he wet the bed.
Yeah, clearly.
But yes, big old fight scene that ends with Ranma doing a move so cool that we didn't even animate it.
He's very, very good at karate. There is a bit where Kuno destroys a block of stone with just the air pressure from his sword thrusts. He's a dangerous guy.
Yes! Again, it's so interesting going back to these and seeing how Kuno is presented as actually dangerous. Ranma wins, but then we get the joke where they poke his ribs and he just collapses. It was not a clean victory.
There's also the panty peekaboo gag where Ranma is got an upskirt of Akane at one point, but is like, yeah, those aren't cute. Whatever.
Yes. We have discussed on this series, in fact, by the time this episode goes up, we will have a couple of Pride Month themed episodes. But yeah, Ranma gives off very strong ace-coded vibes. He has very clear interests, but like, that's not one of them. He knows where he's at.
It's pretty much just karate as far as I can tell.
Yes. Those polka dot panties do not help you in becoming a better martial artist, therefore I do not care. But yeah. Here's another interesting deviation from the manga.
Oh, in the manga they were striped. Yeah, okay.
Actually, they were blue.
Oh, okay.
But this whole fight, as I said, it ends halfway through the chapter, and then they poke Ranma, and he's like, ow! And then they take him to see Dr. Tofu. Whereas this version, the fight ends, and then we just segue to the end of the episode, and then the next episode has like another 10 or so minutes of new content because we need a new excuse to go to Dr. Tofu's in that episode. So another way of just like expanding on things, and also the ancient art of natural stopping points in episode rather than just stopping in the middle of a sequence and expecting you to click next episode because it's all one continuous thing. And I hate that. I hate modern adaptations for doing that so much. But that is interesting. And it also does end on a cuter note where now instead of instantly cutting to Dr. Tofu, we get to end on Nabiki just happily taking photos of Rama and Akane fighting. And it's very cute.
Well, we also, very near the end, get Ranma's first pride in being a rockin' babe. She is very proud of her hot bod. And
yes!
like this is not like clearly she's developed her perspective from just a few episodes ago, which is why it feels so new in like episode 1 and 2. Now she's like, yeah, I'm fucking hot as shit, man.
Well, yeah, that is basically the ending of episode 1. Like, she straight up says, what do I care about your body? I see naked girls all the time. I have a mirror. What do I need that for? Who cares? I'm better built than you. Like, the pride is already there, but it is only growing with time.
So yeah, episode 5, Love Me to the Bone, the compound fracture of Akane's heart. It's time to drown your sorrows in chips.
Another 1.5 chapter episode, which if you've been doing the math, that means episode 6 is 1 chapter. We will get to that. But episode 5, as I said, it does start with a lot of sequences that were not originally there before.
Oh, so they invented Dad eating feet chips?
Yes.
Ugh.
So this is something in the next arc after this one, which is another one of the crazy things of like splitting things up the way the wikis do, of like, this is the Dr. Tofu arc. And then also the next arc has a flashback that continues the Dr. Tofu part, but ignore that. This is the Dr. Tofu arc. The next arc does have a flashback revealing that when Akane was in elementary school, she would like beat up kids and have a bit of a temper problem and just fight people. And how that was the beginning of her crush on Dr. Tofu, and this whole thing of Kasumi recognizing that her younger sister was becoming more violent, being like, hey, don't do that. Dr. Tofu doesn't like bullies. You want him to still be your friend and you have to be nice. And how that was just sort of the foundation of where those emotions developed. And this episode and the next one basically were like, well, we know what's going to happen 3 episodes from now, so let's just set it up here instead of just bringing it out of nowhere. So a lot of the new scenes here are fleshing out the whole love triangle using knowledge of the later chapters in ways that I find very fun. Like how, again, I said in the manga, Son never really spars with Akane or anything, but in this version, he is trading with Akane at the start and demonstrating why maybe he doesn't do that more often.
Yeah, like this seems like a very healthy family relationship, except for all of the concussions. Aside from that, though, they're doing good. Well,
this concussion makes Kasumi concerned. She sees this and realizes this isn't your ordinary concussion. This is going a bit beyond. This is an angry concussion, and we don't want those. She recognizes that Akane is becoming more violent and having a harder time controlling herself, and is doing her best to intervene in a very polite way and just sort of redirecting that anger because she sees where this is going. And this is maybe like the healthiest thing anyone could do. Kasumi and Genma, clearly the 2 best parents in this family. And so this does lead to this whole subplot.
Right, where she extracts a promise from her dear sister to not be such an extremely violent woman.
Yes, maybe don't do that. It's okay when you get jumped by like 30 boys at school, but like, you need to have some restraint.
And so, hearing that Akane is honor-bound to not be so violent, Ranma's gonna get in there and needle her and try to, like, push the boundaries and see what he can get away with.
Ranma is such a stinker in this episode.
You jerk! Leave her alone! She's a nice girl.
It is clear that, like, to Ranma, Akane being violent, that's her true self. That's how he got to know her. So when she's not being like that, he recognizes something is wrong. She should be fighting me all the time. We should be on each other's necks. And the fact that she's not hitting me or getting angry at me is a problem.
He learned about relationships from the Bickersons radio drama series.
But yes, all of this, as I said, is an excuse to give us a new reason to go to Dr. Tofu's. Because we could be, just in case you didn't tune in last week. We can't just have them start there. We need to build up to that first.
So yeah, the Ranma keeps like testing those boundaries and needling until he crosses them and gets injured for his trouble. And they go to the doctor, and like, I would never trust a chiropractor just by as a rule.
What about a martial arts chiropractor?
But if Akane is sending dudes to see him often enough, she has recognizable signature injuries. Maybe her sister has a point about being less violent. If Dr. Tofu can look at a guy and be like, "Oh yeah, this is the old Akane special," maybe, just maybe.
Well, he gets like 30 guys every morning. And I think by now he knows the full story, and he's like, "Okay, fair play, I'll allow it."
I'm gonna code this one for your insurance with acute Akane-itis. They know what that means.
Those boys have Akane insurance that they purchased from Nabiki.
And it is not cheap. It is not cheap.
But yes. They changed the line a bit, but there was a part, I think one of the translations I've seen, where Rama's like, "I thought you didn't like men." And she's like, "I don't mind men, I hate boys," as we then see the collective of boys ready to jump her. And yes, we start to flesh that out. As again, Ranma starts to see more sides to Akane, as it starts to sink in more that she has a bit of a crush on this doctor guy, who lives in the neighborhood, and he almost immediately blabs to the whole school about it.
Well, he's like a kid acting out because getting in trouble is still getting attention. This is definitely pull the girl's pigtails because you secretly like her situation.
Yes, she is not hitting him with baseballs, and that is a problem. This is also our first time meeting those two boys. You know the ones. Every high school anime has those. You know, those two boys. Nobody remembers their names. They exist to have two boys for Rama to talk to whenever he's at school and needs someone to talk to. We never see them outside of school. Rama does not hang out with these guys. But I guess he eats lunch with them and hangs out with them during PE, so they're his best friends now.
Well, he needs to have someone to talk to in his life that doesn't live with him. So, I understand. This is a good thing for him. This is healthy.
Every time he finds one, they eventually start living with him, so this is a problem. But yes, it does not take long for Rama to get injured again and eventually have to go back to Dr. Tofu's. But before that, we do also learn something very important, which is the fact that Genma takes his fiscal responsibilities very seriously.
Yeah?
Genma does not want to be a freeloader, so of course, he gets a job.
He gets a job in Dr. Tofu's office, answering phones, sweeping up. How does he answer phones when half the time he has no human language capabilities? Well, hey, that gag is in the second half of the episode. Don't get ahead of yourself.
I love when they find that out and Dr. Tofu is like, "Oh, is this your father, Ranma? Well, that's weird, but okay." No questions asked. And in fact, something I did notice in this episode, I did not notice at first, Dr. Tofu acts like he's meeting Ranma for the first time. And is like, "Oh, you must be Akane's fiance. I heard about that." And I'm like, wait a minute. Ranma was a girl the first time they met. So
there you go.
And that's really funny because we will eventually get scenes where Dr. Tofu does know that Ranma has two forms, but I don't think anybody ever told him on screen. He just figures it out off screen at some point.
He can read it in the pressure points. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so curious when he learned that, because he clearly doesn't know yet, but I bet there could have been some fun jokes in how he made that discovery, or who told him when, but once again, some of these opportunities don't pay off in ways that they should.
So, after like 10 whole minutes without a swap, Ranma finally gets splashed. I think that's the longest they've ever gone without one. But they need Ranma to be a girl so she can be vulnerable. And Ranma's not old enough for alcohol, so this is their only option, is to be a girl.
Yes, it's on their way to school, and Akane is so frustrated she does not notice Ranma getting splashed until much later. And you say, there was no groping involved, but did you put like half a point in the counter for Akane just unbuttoning Ranma's blouse in front of everyone?
No, but I did write in my notes, quote, "Hello, dozens of desperate men. These are my fiance's knockers." Like,
she saw how Nabiki checked. She knows that there are classier ways of doing this. But yes, they bump into the collective of boys, who are here for a very important reason. That being that, they saw the new mummy at school today and put two and two together of what's going on here. And Tatoaki Kuno, age 17, the Blue Thunder, is covered in bandages, but, you know, he knows the score. He knows that he got good punches in. That was a draw, obviously. He did not lose. How could he lose? Ranma's not a feminist. Look at Ranma. Look, Ranma, on multiple occasions, grabbed some random pigtailed girl and put her in danger so that he could run away.
Shameful.
How could
Shameful
anyone
action.
Except losing to that? So the rest of the boys see the state Tatewaki Kuno is in, and they finally throw in the towel, which I don't know what, like, made them continue thinking they had a chance prior to this. You'd think after, like, 99 consecutive losses, it might occur to them that, like, the only one that's even close is Kuno, and even he's not doing it, but, like, no. This is what made them finally give up.
They're really just in it to fill up their punch card at the Dr. Tofu franchise. You know, you get 10 injuries treated, you get a free frozen yogurt.
Nabiki stopped selling insurance because now she has a new racket with the whole photos thing. So
yeah, now she's in the softcore market for her sister and brother sister-in-law.
But yes, that is how the day starts, and again, eventually we see Ranma eventually getting hurt. Another Dr. Tofu visit will be necessitated. But yes, the day starts with everyone at school has officially recognized that Rama and Akane are now engaged.
Yes.
And there's only one person here to question that, and we all respect him.
So yes, with his baseball injury, Ranma has to go to Dr. Tofu, and now we learn that the love triangles are getting even more elaborate, because while Akane is making goo-goo eyes at the doctor, he goes entirely, like, nonsensical. Like, he hits the laughing gas just thinking about Akane's eldest sister.
Yes. I love how before we learn, like, Akane's just saying he likes someone else. And Rama's like, well, how do you know that? And she says, well, I just do. And when you hear her say that, it's like, hey, don't just say, but then we see it, it's like, oh, no, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows, except for maybe Kasumi. It is not clear if she knows.
So, I guess that takes us to episode 6, Akane's Lost Love. These things happen, you know. So yeah, we begin with Akane absolutely convinced the doctor is madly in love with her sister, and, like, you can't just live life on an assumption. You gotta ask. This is a series about growing up. Let's all just, like, talk about our feelings out in the open. No, we don't need to do that. It is plain as the nose on everyone's face. Yeah, Tofu could get a job in forensics. He is so accurately able to determine the whys, hows, and wheres of physical activity and impact. I don't think he needs to do the acupressure anymore. So all these, like, little gags are happening, and word gets out that the eldest of the three sisters is coming to visit, and everyone in the waiting room is like, well, I guess we can't see the doctor today. Time to go home.
I can't believe the clinic is closed. How unfortunate.
And so I'm thinking, wow, this girl must be really sick. But no, what happens when she arrives is, yes, Dr. Tofu becomes too dumb to breathe. I would not trust this doctor. I need a new doctor, even if that means I have to move out of town. No, thank you. No Dr. Tofu for me, please.
I do love the joke. They're all talking about it, and then Ranma leaves the clinic with his neck rotated 90 degrees.
He can only survive that because he's an incredibly fit young man.
So, I love episode 6. Do you want to guess? I counted how many minutes of this episode are based off of the manga.
Well, it's a 1-chapter episode for about 22 minutes, you know, after opening and closing credits. So I would say 6.
Pretty much. It's like 6.5.
All right.
In the remake, these events span 4 minutes.
Oh, well, you know, we gotta pick things up. We got to move.
But here, almost the entire episode is original. In the manga, we just get the scene at Dr. Tofu's, and then Akane leaves. Rama's like, oh, I wonder, she seems down. Then he goes home. She is breaking bricks, and then he spars with her, and then he calls her cute. And then, then there's like a reaction, and then we get the final scene where she's getting ready for bed, and she looks in the mirror, and she thinks about what Rama said, and that's the beginning of a flourishing new direction for their relationship. And that was all 20 pages of the manga. What a nice story. Anyways, what if we just did, not that? What if we just did everything except for that for the next 20 minutes?
So I do appreciate Akane being moody by the riverside, the river that every anime teen lives near. It's really long. It goes to every single town an anime teen lives in.
Tokyo is just one giant river. Everybody lives next to the river. I love that scene as like she starts skipping rocks and then graduates to larger and larger rocks and is eventually just lifting up entire boulders to throw in the river.
Yeah, she just goes on to what is essentially vandalism. But yeah, Ranma shows up and he's actually like open and understanding and while a boy, unusually.
Yes, this entire sequence is great because in that manga thing I showed, Ranma just kind of immediately jumps to like, oh, Akane's sad. I'm gonna, spar with her and then call her cute. He immediately learns his lesson. And I guess this episode decided, no, we need to get from point A to point B. Let's linger. Let's have the ups and downs.
Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? Yes, the answer is yes. It always has
It's
been.
not even a steady progression. Like, he doesn't start off insensitive and then learns his lesson. He starts off kind of in the middle, and then goes down, and then back up. It's a gradual process of learning throughout this episode. And it's really fun, and also good for Akane that, like, she sees Ranma trying. Regardless of his success, she sees the effort he is making, and that also impacts her, rather than having her react to one scene. This is maybe the most justified 600% increase in screen time for any manga chapter ever.
And like in their time together between the encounter in the river and going back to their shared residence, like they say it's out in the open. They kind of like each other. Things are beginning to blossom in the sunlight. And then, in my favorite joke, Ranma 1/2 invents girl math. As Akane says to Ranma, lend me some money and it'll be my treat. It's so good!
Yes! And that does segue into my absolute favorite scene of the episode.
Oh, where they're at Wussburger? I'm pretty sure that package says Wussburger.
This sequence, there is so much unnecessary silence in this episode, and that makes the silence absolutely necessary. I love that they animate Akane crumpling up her burger wrapper, throwing it, and then missing, and then getting up, walking to the wrapper, picking it up, walking back, sitting down, aiming, and then throwing it again, and then she looks proud at herself while Ranma just kind of side-eyes her and just scoffs because who cares? That entire sequence is incredible.
I think it goes to how they approach their shared interest. Like, we don't see Ranma just like training solo very often. He's constantly sparring with his dad, that's for sure. But Akane is always in her room, like going through her exercises. And here we see her practice. She practices until she gets it right, and she's proud of herself. And then Ranma, who seems to be some sort of naturally gifted karate genius, is just like, well, what's the big deal with practice? You just sort of do it.
Yeah, you got it in, but you also missed. So, like, that counts.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, so much of this, like half this scene is just them eating several burgers. I counted those burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many they eat?
Combined? 7.
Okay. Akane eats 4 burgers, but one of them is Big Mac size that is twice the size of the others. Ranma eats 4.5 burgers, and then Akane leaves, and the scene ends. But he still has the other half, and you can see there is an uneaten burger still in the bag during one shot. And I don't think Ranma's the type to waste food. So...
You seen how many fights they get in a day? Like, they got a carb load. They got to up their protein
They
intake.
eat so many burgers in that scene.
They eat like hibernating bears.
Like, almost every time it cuts to Ranma, he is, like, crumpling up a wrapper and grabbing another one. They could have easily just had him still eating the same burger within those shots, but no. They need to show him grabbing another one while listening to Akane's story. It is such a good scene. I love these burgers. I love how much they're eating. I've had a lot of recent episodes of this podcast discussing how important food is to Ranma and Akane's relationship, but most of that doesn't come till later in the manga. It's good to see that the anime was ahead of that here.
So for some reason we go back to Dr. Tofu's office. Daddy Saotome just loves being panda mode and only switches back when needed to have a human conversation with words.
Yes, which is not necessary for his job, but is necessary for being a dad.
It's his calling, it's his passion.
Up until now, Genma, he's been pretty good at giving advice. Up until now. And we get another pretty funny scene, which again, I like that Ranma's it's not just a gradual getting from point A to point B. Along the way, he gets some terrible advice, and it's up to Ranma to recognize that and swerve. As Genma tells Ranma a little, he recalls a little moment from his own youth.
Yes. Oh, his lost love.
Did you know that character, that filler-only character that only appears in this one episode, has a section on the Ranma wiki?
Well, if the wiki's worth a darn, yeah, she'd have to.
Yeah, I love that flashback. Just Genma. I don't even remember what his point was supposed to be.
You gotta be open with your feelings. It seems to be what it's usually about.
Yes, you have to be honest. So when you're dating a girl, and you just have to let her know that you met someone that is prettier and nicer and has better hair, and she's also rich and is just like better. She has a nicer personality, you know. She's got cool parents, you know. Everything about her is just better than you. So I hope you understand.
And her name is Karate. That's really where I thought this was going the whole time.
Of course, that's Ranma's true mother, according to this filler episode.
He's the chosen one. My question in this flashback, though, is his horrible hat also the result of a curse?
I love his hat so much.
This is a bad hat.
I'm curious if, like, they gave him the hat to make it unclear if he's bald, but you can clearly see the side of his head. He is clearly still bald as a teenager in that shot. Which, eventually the manga will confirm what he actually looked like as a teenager, and he does have hair, so I have had thoughts about that hat as well. It is an interesting hat. It is an interesting choice. But yes, Genma is not very good at giving advice, but Ranma has perhaps learned a lesson regardless. He's learned to perhaps be a little bit honest, even if he has to find a roundabout way to deliver that information. And as I said, the episode ends with Ranma sparring with Akane.
Yeah. We end with kitty cat pajamas and violence. It's perfect. What more could you want?
Yes. Unironically, it's actually sparring and not just, you know, getting into fights on the way to school. Like, it is taking her passion seriously. She does like martial arts.
Yeah.
He likes martial arts. We can just be normal for 5 minutes.
We could just be normal. They're not opponents. They are teammates, you know, growing together, improving together. It's like, oh wow, these crazy kids are gonna make it. I hope her extortionist sister gets to fin-dom that idiot for the rest of her life.
Yeah, but that ends that episode and also this arc. Because next episode is where we meet a new character. We get a new subplot. and things become more episodic. But for now, we have completed our journey into the serialized prologue of Ranma, I guess. The first 9 chapters out of 407.
I mean, this is fantastic. Like, this is a story that, at least from, this sampler, big sampler, we've been talking for a long time, but there's so much more that could be said about self-perception. Gender obviously hangs so large over everything, and I love that everyone in it is so open. People who know the deal have their own interpretations of the deal, and that reflects on how they see themselves in the world as well. Like, I don't think you can talk about Akane's image of Ranma's gender situation without really talking about Akane's personal gender situation.
Yes.
Even though it's one that's much more tied to, I don't know, reality than a cursed Chinese spring thing going on.
Yes. It's all interchanged. Some of the things that I am recording for the upcoming month, I'm getting a lot of mileage out of a quote, a very important quote from Rumiko Takahashi. The story goes, people have looked into it, it's a bit more nuanced, but the paraphrase version everybody heard in the early 2000s
ain't that always the way?
Was Rumiko Takahashi was asked what would happen if Rama got pregnant, and her response was, I don't think about that, and neither should you. And that's, I think, the perfect culmination of her mindset. Rumiko Takahashi, she doesn't think about it, but in a lot of ways, that is incredibly freeing to just not think about it. I don't worry about those details. What happens if Rama gets pregnant? I don't know, who cares? That's not important right now. And it's not presented in this, like, condescending manner of, like, who cares, it's a cartoon. Which is how I've seen people interpret that quote. I don't think that's how she meant it based on what I've learned about her and what I've read of her works. It definitely comes across as just, I don't sweat the details. Like, it's not a condescending who cares, it's a literally who cares. And this is applied to everything. Gender? Who cares? What about their sexuality? Who cares? I don't think about that. You don't have to think about it. It just is. And you can feel that and understand why. I
mean, whoever was drawing those legs is thinking about it. Like, there's no two ways around that. Like,
yes. The series still has that, but like, you don't have to think about it is the thing. There's no obligation. Rumiko Takahashi isn't going to force you to think about it. And there might be times where I wish he did. I wish he might have fleshed things out a bit more. But again, this is still the era of, well, I can't assume that you read the last 300 issues of Weekly Shonen Sunday that have been ongoing since 1987.
Like, the thing with water, though, like, I keep going back to why water? What is it about water? And like the omnipresence, like there's always an excuse for a bucket or a splash or whatever. I get that. But also like water is so infused with meaning in so many ways. Like water is spiritual, water is life. But it is still or running. It is clear or cloudy. It is salt or fresh or still or sparkling. Like water encompasses so many dualities. And like it's very bucket based in the show. So they're not necessarily going with water for its versatility if they keep falling back on the same thing. But it's got to be something else, right?
I've talked about how they make the joke in the very beginning where it's like, you just need hot water. And then Gemma's like, yes, hot water, not boiling water. It doesn't need to be that hot.
Don't cook the girl, please.
And yet every single time they need hot water, they get the boiling hot tea kettle. No exceptions. It's either a tea kettle or there's a hot springs nearby. Those are the only two sources of hot water in this series. But yes, Do you want to know what are the reasons Rumiko Takahashi gave for why she went with water?
Sure.
So she has talked about how part of the inspiration for Rama 1/2, she couldn't decide on whether to have a male protagonist or a female protagonist. So she was like, oh, I'll just do both then. And so then she had to think, well, I need an explanation for how we get both. How does this character switch? And one day she was at a public bathhouse and she saw the signs for the men's bath and the women's bath and was like, got it, water. And that's the entire thought process. That's how she tells the story, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that, I hadn't thought of that. Like, water features are the example of a sex-segregated space in society. So, all right, yeah, you got me there. It seems obvious, actually.
Where else are you gonna find signs with the little stick figures on them? There's gonna be water nearby.
Don't drink it. Don't want to get splashed in there in a lot of cases. So, but yeah, I think those are my big thoughts. I might keep going on this once I am finished with my current lunch break show at work, where I'm also hearing the voice of Kenichi Ogata, who plays Papa Saotome, Fang of the Sun Dugrum.
Yeah.
Where he voices Nanashi, the strangest of the Gorilla Crew.
This is what this podcast is about. We're wasting all our time summarizing episodes. This is why I didn't need to summarize these specific episodes. We could be talking about this instead. That's the real importance of deep diving. You never know what you're going to find.
In fact, when a character made a big impression on me, I looked up their actor and noted down roles they did that were important, particularly to me. I'm sure you've talked about all these people in their careers, but are you curious about a window into my interests and what jumped out at me?
Absolutely, because that's just how I do it as well. Who cares about who cares about who went on to play Rei Ayanami from some obscure series no one cares about? Who matters to you?
Pen, we covered that one. So Dr. Tofu is played by Yuji Mitsuya, who hasn't played anyone that I really care about, but he was the protagonist of Combattler V, which I will get to one of these days, probably. He also plays the Japanese dub voice of US animation characters like Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
This makes sense. Nabiki's voice, Minami Takayama, already mentioned the Vision of Escaflowne, Dylan Dow, but also Katie Mannequin from Gundam 00, and Ascot the Summoner from Magic Knight Rayearth, who I was sure was going to turn out to be evil, and did not.
Not unlike Nabiki.
You can't turn out to be evil when you start that way. But her obvious soulmate, Kuno, voiced by Hirataka Suzukoi, who, of course, was the original Bright Noah across the Gundam series until his passing in 2006, and came up in the episode's discussion Tien Shinhan in Dragon Ball. And if you want to hear this guy continue to be awful to blue-haired women, you gotta watch Super Dimension Fortress Macross and hear him as Kaifun. Akane, of course, Noriko Hidaka plays the immortal and illustrious Noriko in Gunbuster. Other roles of Mr. Saotome, a lot of scientists. He plays a lot of crazy old mad scientists, including the robot building brothers in Gao Gaigar and Beryl in Mega Man Legends. But also, Denim in Mobile Suit Gundam, the guy Amuro kills with a beam saber to the cockpit in episode 1.
Yeah.
On that note, Girl Ranma's voice, Megumi Hayashibara, was Chris, the pilot of the Gundam Alex in 0080 War of the Pocket. She voiced, the voice of hers I was most excited to see is the recurring TV news reporter in the Pat Labor series in the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
but she has a major role in the currently airing film trilogy Patlabor Easy, and I can't wait to find out how and when that comes to English viewers. Come on, please give me the Patlabor news. On the other side of the wet coin, Boy Ranma's voice, Kappe Yamaguchi, was Sai Saichi in G Gundam, Yo-Yo Ma, the little freak monster in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean, and Red 13 in Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth, and surely the upcoming third game, Revelation. Which I guess to preserve the naming should be Revelation. You're supposed to say it Revelation, or else it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've enjoyed being here. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear a little more of me, and also one of those characters I just mentioned, the one I saved for last, you can find me doing a current Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You said this is coming out in July?
Yeah, it should be early July by the time people are hearing this.
Okay, so we are a handful of episodes in. I think we're probably, when you're listening to this, the videos in the second town are going up. We're having a lot of fun. It's at Chip Cheesem LPs is the YouTube channel. I have been making Let's Play videos since 2007, or is it 8? 2008. No, it's 7. And so we've gotten pretty good at it. You want to talk about deep dives? We are known. We're the people who did the 3 parallel playstyles for Metal Gear Solid 5. That's us. That's our thing.
You're the people that anytime someone acknowledges Wonderful 101, it's like, well, there's already a Let's Play of this. We don't need a second. I guess Wooly Versus can do another one, but you know.
Yeah, but did he do a boss fight with 5 commenters plus a live studio audience at a convention?
Yes.
I mean, he might have. He'd probably have a much larger crowd than we did.
They very recently did a panel where they played Steel Battalion live in front of a crowd. So
well, there you go. Well, we did it also and had a really good time in Wonderful 101, but
you got there ahead of the ball. But yeah, that's a good thing to hear. That LP, I'm pretty sure I hadn't even heard of it back when we scheduled this recording. Wasn't there something else? If you want to hear my voice doing a scripted thing, I would encourage everyone to go to lydiadisappears.com or in whatever program you use to listen to podcasts, search for The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine. LydiaDisappears.com is a lot easier to remember, but that is a brand new, currently running audio drama. It is a mystery with a little bit of magical realism, sort of urban fantasy, a little cyberpunk and sci-fi. It's about big data. It's about large corporate control and the ways we give up part of ourselves to the digital sphere in order to make what we call the modern world run, and how that could be influenced, but also, talking crows. And this one girl, Lydia, she won't stop disappearing. And people got to figure out what's up with that and why and do something about it. But I'm not going to do anything about it. My character is one of her scheming, amoral uncles in the Fontaine family. So that's... Oh my goodness. It's a heck of a lot of fun to make, and it's going to be even more fun to listen to as I get to hear everyone else's work in our large collaborative group finally coming together. I'm so excited. I'm saying this before the season has properly launched, but out in July 2026, we're, halfway through the season, so there's plenty to catch up with. So there's not so much to catch up with, and then you get to join the weekly
Sunday drop every Sunday until the season is complete. And hopefully, if enough of you take the jump and really enjoy it, because I know you will, there could be a season 2. And that's what I'm dreaming in my heart for. That's LydiaDisappears.com. Once again, the disappearances of Lydia Fontaine.
Yeah. And I'm glad you get to promote this, because I can also technically promote this. I'm an extra in one of those episodes. So if you want to hear me say like 2 lines, that's just another thing to add to the growing list of reasons to check it out.
Fantastic.
Hooray!
I guess I would also just point people to follow me on Blue Sky at My Name is Grant. I'm going to be sharing thoughts, sharing things, plugging other projects of mine. Like, hey, we kind of danced around it in the beginning, but my wife and I make a show called Whiskers. We share knowledge regarding seaQuest, which is an episode by episode look at seaQuest DSV, where we ran out of episodes, and we're currently in a stretch where we're just looking at things that are tangentially related and trying to say something about what was going on in the 90s, or what's up with this one producer and what does he bring to all of his projects, seaQuest included, et cetera, as we also like go through the spin-off books and things like that. That's Whiskers is WSKRS. We share knowledge regarding seaQuest.
Yeah, this is a good place to talk about any seaQuest music calendars, if those exist.
No, seaQuest was sort of backwards in the spin-off thing. Its producers wanted a full court press, a little bit of everything at the front, whereas generally a show will meet success in its original, format, and then comes the merchandising and the spin-offs and the tie-ins. No, they put the cart before the horse so that everything would, if, things went according to plan, just, they would make their own rising tide to lift all boats. But it's a submarine. You don't want to lift that boat. It's supposed to stay down there. And so it didn't really work.
Well, that all sounds great to know. I'm glad that there are more deep dives to sink into there.
I mean, again, it's a high-tech submarine. It's as deep as it gets. They go to Challenger deep.
This is all good to know. And to listeners out there, if you have any, questions or follow-ups to stuff, again, to any listeners that have yet to actually check out Ranma and your only exposure is the stuff I'm saying, maybe hearing how it starts has invoked new questions, you could send those in to ramapodcast at gmail.com. You could also just send in things you find interesting. I've got, at least one email of I think this is interesting, and I'm like, cool, I can work that into some episodes. Those are good talking points. I won't let you down, person who sent me my 4th email ever. You could do that and just continue enjoying the show as you wish, because there's always more Ranma content out there. It is free, like most podcasts. You could support it if you want. I've got some Ko-fi links. I'm not too fancy. Just look in the description. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed this little jaunt through the early Ranma parts, the first arc. And I hope you had fun with all this, Grant.
Absolutely. I'm no liar. I said so and I mean it.
Yeah, that's great. And I certainly, enjoyed a more thorough recap of the early chunks that I haven't thought about a lot, and neither should you, but it's been fun. So everyone, stay tuned while I look for somebody to watch episodes 7 through 18 for this series. I think it's time we pick up the pace a little bit. and look forward to that. Have fun, and good night, everyone.
Have fun, everybody. Careful with your karate out there.